Agenda item number 1. Reminder of the Chair. The Parish Council meeting may be audio recorded under the Openness of Local Government Regulation 2014. Devices are to be placed on the table throughout the meeting. Okay? And Sean's recording the meeting just for everybody's information. So apologies. To receive apologies for absence given in advance of the meeting. So we have Councillor Maiden and Councillor Roberts. Does everyone accept those apologies? All right, yeah. Okay, thank you. Declarations of interest and dispensation. To receive any declarations of interest not already declared, the Council's Code of Conduct for members registered of disposal of pecuniary interests on items on the agenda. Does anyone have any got to register any declaration of interest or declare any interest? No? Do you have any written requests for dispensation? Okay, thank you. Item 4, to know the minutes of the Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting held on the 4th of March 2024. These minutes have already been agreed by the Parish Council, so we just noting them. So is everyone happy with the minutes? Thank you. Item 5, to receive information on the following ongoing matters. So clerk's update.
Sorry, can I?
Yes.
Just take a moment on number 4. It was just when I looked at 9.1 minutes, I noticed that some of the items that I thought were on the earmarked list had dropped off, and obviously some of them I understood because the car park was being packed rather than replaced. Solar panels weren't included in that mentioned roof replacement, but there seemed to be village projects was on the list, 20, and that's gone.
So which list are you looking at that it village projects was on?
Yes, 9.1 recommended that the areas below are earmarked from general reserves as potential expenditure.
So where are you looking for? Which list are you looking at? The village projects
I
listed?
looked at the earlier list that we agreed in an earlier meeting.
Do you know anything about that, Gemma, or do you need to go back and check?
So I believe what you're referring to is in the meeting on the 4th of March there was a supplementary list. Yeah. So the ones that are noted in here are the ones that had final costs next to it. There was some at the bottom that didn't have costs next to it. And on the day the committee didn't agree to put a cost against it, so that's why they've not agreed as official earmarked reserves.
Right. I actually didn't have that understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Earmarked reserves can be agreed at any point throughout the year. They don't have to be done before the start of the financial year. Those are the ones that are agreed to before the financial year. So if there is a village project that council decide to discuss and earmark reserves, that can be done at any point.
Okay, thank you. And the other thing was that, I'm sorry I missed it before, but the thing of the 24-25 decibel noted at the end.
So what was you looking at?
Same point,
right,
just
okay.
at the end.
All right.
It was the accuracy of 23-24, because I noticed actually that the way it's shown in the budget, actual budget that we have here, the SIL money is transferred each quarter. You see, plus a transfer from EMR, less a transfer to EMR of the ones that we've received this year for SIL funds. And it was that occurrence there that didn't happen in our 23-24 budget, and that was what I was querying, because the way it reflected was that it showed a lesser figure needing to be transferred from general reserves.
So I think you said when you were just speaking just now, I think you said 23-24, but did you mean 24-25? Because that's what's in this note.
That's right. I mean it should be 23-24.
I see.
I was querying.
I see.
Yeah.
I think you know, strictly speaking, once the minutes have been accepted, we don't have the power to alter them, do we?
No, we don't have any power to alter them. If I'm understanding though, it's an outstanding query that you've got with me anyway. You've raised it in an email, haven't you?
Yes.
So I can go and look away into it as a general query. But the minutes are correct in terms of the fact that any deficit from either of those budgets would be from earmarked reserves. If there's a query obviously as to how much, 23-24 is an estimate in terms of we've estimated an amount to go out. So that would come back to full council should there be any difference. The committee and then to full council should there be any difference at year end. So we're in the process of year end at the moment. But in terms of these meeting minutes, that's what was agreed to be earmarked.
Okay. But I think, all I was trying to say was my concerns were over 23-24, not 24-25. And I'm sorry I didn't spot it.
Oh, sorry, you're right, this note, it was noted, so that's a correction of 23.
Okay.
Susie is correct, the note that I've put here, I thought we were still on about the bullet point.
Oh, right, I see.
But you're on about this very last bit, isn't it? It was noted that, that date, you are right, on the email it's 23-24 and I've put it as 24-25, so I can correct that.
Okay, so that's just an error?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody happy with that change? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Susan. So we're on 5, to receive information on the following ongoing matters arising Clerk's update. 5.1, to receive an update on the installation timeline with the exercise equipment on Dando Way. Yeah, we've got a note here, but do you want to add anything?
No, that's absolutely fine. So what I've been doing is going through any outstanding agenda actions from previous meetings and progressing them. So I've put some updates in just so you know where things are at. So the note that's in the supporting notes is the most relevant one. Nothing's changed. It's with Wakefield Council currently waiting the project start date, which has been estimated at late spring, early summer. So we will keep on with that to make sure it's not slips down the list with Wakefield Council.
Thank you. Okay. 5.2, to note the quarterly internal checks and reconciliation are pending completion and will be supplied in the next meeting. So that's just straightforward information. 5.3, to note that the renewal of the energy supplier as delegated to the clerk has been actioned and the new supplier set up in line with the contract renewal. And in Gemma's note she says Octopus Energy was awarded the contract. So can we just ratify that? Because we did give Gemma the powers, but I think it would be good to say that, to note that we've received that information and we've ratified that decision. Is everybody happy to do that? Yeah. Okay, thank you. 6, financial matters. So you have your pages here attached. Let me just get that over there. Okay, so we've got, first of all, the quarterly budget reports for quarter 4, January to March 2024. You have those in your papers. Gemma, is there anything in those notes that you'd like to bring to our attention?
The only thing that I would say is the agenda items are for a quarterly report, but I like to include everything year to date because that's how it pulls off every Altus. So just bear in mind that that's everything year to date. The second thing I'd just like to highlight is, although it feels like the end of the financial year with it being the end of March, it is a month-end report. We're still in the process of completing the year-end close down, and that will be brought to committee at the next meeting, which will show exactly where we are at our final standpoint for the year close down of 23-24. I haven't also, Chair, I've not had any financial queries come back on this.
Okay.
Does that mean that we're still waiting for some money coming in and some going out?
Yeah. Mine coming.
Okay. Okay, so we've got that information from Gemma, thank you. Gemma's had no written queries. Does anyone want to make a comment or ask a question that may not be able to be answered here on these papers?
Well, only that because of the transfer in and out of the SIL funds, it looks more like the deficit that I would have been expecting.
Which line are you looking at?
The very last one.
Oh, the very bottom, right, I see. Okay, thanks. Well, I mean, that will come back as Jen was explaining. Thank you very much. So, we're receiving these papers. Are we... So we're just receiving...
That's right, yes, just an update on the report.
Just receiving the report. Thank you. Thanks. So that's presented to us, put before us, and has been received by us. Thank you. So 6.2, to receive follow-up information on non-payment of room hire fees and to decide a course of action for recommendation. Gemma, can you tell us about this?
So this is an old one from a few meetings past. For those of you that were present at that meeting, you will recall that we did at that meeting agree that we would start requesting for room payments 48 hours before the booking would go ahead. That process is working and we haven't had any other late payments. We have continued to chase the two that have been outstanding since before Christmas. The cost is on the supporting notes. It was £26.10 for each booking. It was one-off booking for party. Those people have not booked any room since. We're at a point now where we are either looking to proceed with legal, I suppose, proceedings to recover that money, or if we balance it with the amount of staff time and cost, the risk is minimal in terms of cost, and we're now at a point where it's probably costing more in staff time to chase. So we would write that off effectively as free room hire for those two. That's the decision I'd be looking for committee to review.
Okay. So, in that case, anybody got a comment on that? So the course of action, either we proceed to, well, small claims presumably, or else we, with all the, adherent staff time costs and probably legal costs as well, or else we, unfortunately, write it off.
This is £52, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. And we've changed process, which is now working.
Yeah, exactly. The top process that stops it happening again. Sure, it can't be worth the effort of doing it.
How old is the debt? About 5
I think it was in November last year.
Yeah.
So, are you making that as a proposal that we
just write it off?
write it off then? That's a proposal from Lynn, seconded by John. Are we all, can I just see if you're in favour, not in favour of it, but accept that proposal? We're not in favour of having to write off, but what we have to, okay, thank you. Okay. Item 7, motions requested by councillors. 7.1, to receive a proposal from Councillor Susie Sherritt for this committee to review for recommendation to council to fund training for the project and events manager in bid writing so that we have a staff member capable of obtaining grants and funding for community capital projects. So Susie, that's your proposal to move. No, first of all I have to ask if that proposal is seconded. Please, is there a seconder for that proposal? No, I'm afraid if there's no seconder, we can't proceed with the proposal. Proposal falls, that's standing orders, I'm afraid. So that proposal falls. I'm not sure which standing order it is.
It was standing order chair that it would fall.
Yeah.
In the seconder.
And item 7.2, to receive a two-part proposal from Councillor Sherritt for this committee to review for recommendation to Council. Councillor Sherritt proposes that Ackworth Parish Council set up 2 further deposit accounts, the first for the SIL funds and the second for the management fee set aside for strata from residents so that they are held separately to the current deposit account. And part 2, Councillor Susie Sherritt proposes that Ackworth Parish Council consider what happens to the interest on the SIL deposit account and the management reserve deposit account if opened. So again, that's a proposal moved by Susie. Does that proposal have a seconder?
Can I just ask some questions?
Yes.
So, at the moment, in the deposit account we've got, can you clearly see which is the still money and which is the management fee?
In the bank account or on Realtus or
I
both?
don't know, both probably.
So on the bank account we have two accounts, a deposit and a current.
Yeah.
In the deposit account it's where everything's kept.
Yeah.
And then we do the day-to-day from the other account.
Yeah.
So no, it's not clearly defined on the HSBC bank account, but our alpha system is Realtus.
Yeah.
And on Realtus all of the finances are loaded into there and they are all on
So you
separate
can see
pots
separate
on
streams.
Realtus, yep. So you just literally put a code in and it pulls off the report.
And can I ask the management fee? I'm not entirely sure.
May I okay to keep
Management fee.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
my understanding as it is, and Sarah, you might have to jump in or John for more knowledge, is that as part of the strata development, there are some areas of land that are due to come over with the handover, and management of that land will be the responsibility of Ackworth Parish Council. So it's written into the deeds of the properties that are surrounding the green areas, open space areas, that they pay a management fee as part of their deeds. So because it's not been handed over to Ackworth Parish Council yet, it's been sent to us and it's sat in a pot on Realtus, and we've not touched it and we've left it there until we just deal with the handover.
And is that a one-off fee or an ongoing fee? Is it when they buy the house?
It's one off and it's transferred, is that right?
And
At the moment, the way
fee.
it's set up.
I thought it was, is it one-off? I thought it was annual.
I think it's an annual.
Annual.
I think.
I thought it was annual.
That's
Go on,
an
John,
annual,
sorry.
So I think it's an annual fee.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the management fee.
yes, so part of the, I don't know if you want the detail, but the first phase, the finance, the first phase of the building, it might be phase 1 or 2, their open space on the estate, which I understand includes verges and, you know, shrub beds and things, are managed by a company called Meadfleet.
Yeah.
But then phase, can't remember which phases are up to, but the later phases, that's the spaces, including the space around the community centre, is going to be handed over, is going to be taken on by Ackworth Parish Council, responsibility for that. And that's what the management fee is for, but at the moment we're not doing that work, so we're holding the management fee until such time as the land is handed over.
Which is why I've not dug too deep into it yet, because that's my task that's upcoming.
Okay, so, yeah.
And is there anything stopping the council from spending the management fee on things other than the management of those areas?
Do you mean can we spend it on anything else
Yes.
other than that? No, we can't. It's for that purpose.
That's okay. That's just so I understand it. That's great.
Okay, so is that
Yeah,
answer
that answers it.
questions? Okay, so do we have a seconder for Susie's two-part proposal? Well, unfortunately, as with the previous one, if there's no seconder, the proposal falls, I'm afraid. That's the way it works.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say I think it's a shame not to even listen to a proposal to help a staff member develop with a decent training course. And secondly, I feel it would be much clearer for us to be able to see these amounts separate from general reserves, because it would just give so much more clarity and transparency to the money that is available to spend this year on expenses and other projects.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Anita. That's just how the standing orders work. You know, if the motion isn't seconded, then the proposer
understand.
can't move
I
it. So
just
thank
wish
you.
to make a comment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 8. Can we agree that the press and public be excluded from the range of the meeting on the grounds that publicity be prejudicial to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted? Are we agreed on that? Thank you. Okay. Thank you, public.